Hi, I'm Rob from B&H, and we're going to check out the Spark hardware drum machine synthesizer from Arturia. The Spark offers musicians both an extensive library of drum sounds and an intuitive hardware controller that makes programming grooves and patterns easy and actually fun. Let's take a tour. Now, Spark is actually a combination of two elements: the software package and the hardware controller, which connects to your computer via USB. The software part is on disk, you install it to your Mac or PC, and now you have a powerful drum machine on your computer. You can run Spark as a standalone or as a plugin within your DAW. Arturia use 3 different methods for conjuring up the drum sounds: sampling, physical modeling, and TAE, or True Analog Emulation Synthesis. Using these 3 different methods means that Spark is able to deliver a wide range of drum sounds, including classic old-school drum machines, synthetic electronic kits, and fairly realistic acoustic drums. The drum sounds are excellent. They tend to skew toward the electronic end of the drum spectrum, which isn't really surprising considering Arturia's synthesizer expertise. The hardware is fun-looking, but solidly built. The faceplate is metal, and the knobs turn infinitely, and the velocity-sensitive drum pads feel quite good. The display screen is a bit small, but that's not that big of an issue since you can get more information from your computer screen. On the back are my MIDI ports and USB connection, and an optional power connection, which during my tests I never needed. The easiest way to begin to explore Spark's possibilities is to load up one of the preset projects. So if we dial up the electricity project, for example, we'll get the drum kit and the accompanying patterns that go with it. The patterns are in 4 banks, A through D, with each bank giving you 16 different patterns, each available at the touch of its corresponding button around the jog wheel. The jog wheel has 2 functions. First, you can use it to dial up a different kit. So if I want to try these patterns with different sounds, I can swap out the electricity kit with the acid kit, for example, and see how that sounds. If I press down the jog wheel for 1 second, it switches to instrument mode, allowing me to swap out the drum sounds on the pads for new ones. Programming with Spark is pretty straightforward. It's designed like a classic drum machine. Up here in the sequencer section, I play patterns, record new parts, and edit. This grid reflects the sound I have selected below, so editing is really easy. Keep in mind that although there are only 8 pads, there are 2 pad banks, 1 through 8 and 9 through 16, and I page between them with this button. In the sequencer part, there's also a looping option that's simple and intuitive to use. Engage it with this button, and then change the size and position of the loop with the divide and move buttons. There's also a shuffle knob where I can dial in some swing to my groove. I thought the feel of the shuffle was quite nice on Spark. Looking at the software on my computer screen, Spark is divided into 3 major screens laid out vertically. The middle screen is a replica of the controller that I can operate with a mouse if I choose. The top screen shows me my patterns and song arrangements, and I can also edit automation parameters here. The bottom screen shows the studio, the mixer, and the library. The studio screen is an easier way to swap out individual sounds on the pads, and also allows you to further tweak the sounds. The mixer is fairly self-explanatory, while the library page is where you can manage your files. You can export MIDI and audio files and import MIDI and Rex files. The Spark controller makes programming more fun and intuitive. I really like the feel of the pads, and the old school step sequencer is great. But for me, the thing that sets this bad boy apart are the performance controls. Each of the pads in a kit has 3 control knobs mapped to parameters that vary depending on the sound. So for the snare, for example, the top knob handles tuning, while the other 2 knobs control timbre settings. On the open hi-hat, though, the knobs are set to pitch, ring modulation, and the decay time. These give you a lot of real-time sound sculpting right at your fingertips. Great for adding life to drum tracks in the studio and during live performances. In addition to those knobs, there are 6 more knobs for additional dedicated controls on whichever pad you've got currently selected. These include cutoff filter, resonance, 2 internal effect sends, panning, and volume. On the 2 effect sends, you have a choice of reverb, plate reverb, and delay, with several presets in each to choose from. In addition to the effect sends, on each instrument and the master channel, you have 2 insert effects per channel, with your choice of bit crusher, chorus, compressor, delay, distortion, EQ, and phaser. A cool performance feature on the Arturia Spark is the Effects Live Pad. With this bad boy, you get touch control over 3 different effects. If you choose the filter, then your moves on the X-axis control the cutoff frequency, while the Y-axis controls the resonance, and you can switch between high-pass, low-pass, and bandpass filters by pressing the filter button. The slicer option offers numerous touchpad loop options, including repeat, tape, reverse, strobe, and more. The last option is the roller. You select the sound you want to roll and choose the timing of the roll on the touchpad. Before I wrap it up, I should mention that if you want to use the Arturia Spark as a MIDI controller without the software drum machine, you can. Hold the filter, slicer, and roller buttons down at once, and you've switched the device to MIDI controller mode. Now, with the aid of the Spark MIDI Control Center software, you can route the many buttons and knobs on the Spark to the desired destinations in your DAW, virtual instruments, or MIDI instruments. So hopefully that gives you a good overview of what Spark is capable of. Impressive sounds and extensive controls make for a drum machine that offers a lot of features but is still fun and easy to use. For more information about the Spark hardware drum machine synthesizer from Arturia or any of our other pro audio gear, visit us online, give us a call, or stop by our New York City Superstore. Thanks for watching.